Hello, everybody. Will Tone over here. Want to share with you a conversation I had today with a potential client. Um, and as always, right, we kind of talked a little more about Google Ads, right? Google Ads is one of those short-term vehicle you're just buying your way in onto Google. So that way, if somebody type in home care near me, funeral home near me, flooring near me, you show up right at the top, right? So I always recommend that's probably the shortest vehicle to kind of start to get leads to flow in. Because with Google Ads, you're targeting by keyword, by geography. It's very, very short-term play, right? So even that, the question coming from this potential client is, hey, once you turn the ads, am I going to start getting leads? So this is a very interesting question. I want to share with you guys what my thoughts are. Of course, first of all, there's a few factors as to whether you're going to get calls right away. First of all, of course, it's going to be based on how urgent, right, needs it is. Of course, for funeral home, you should be able to get, right, it's not one of those keywords people type in that, right, it's pretty much imminent need, near need. Versus like home care, for example, they might just start it, oh, mom fell, might start to do a little bit of research, right? For example, on a trade side, home improvement, the buying journey might be a little bit long, right? So the first factor here is going to be based on the vertical you're in, right? If it's emergency plumbing, right? Or glass repair, that's obviously if they, or locksmith, for example, if you got locked out, right? If they saw they search locksmith near me, they click on, it's urgent, they click on the first ad, they don't shop around a whole lot, they need your service right away. Of course, you're gonna get leads right away. Versus other types, that's first of all, the answer here is first of all, it's going to be based on your industry, right? And that's going to be a natural, let's say I kind of know, for example, death care should be pretty short. Trades typically like windows and doors, flooring might be like 97 days, more or less, right? Home care might be typically about 30 days. Um, so that's the first thing here is, but knowing the buying journey is might be a little bit long for some verticals, right? You might not be able to see calls right away, but down the line, right, you're gonna see them starting to do more and more research and it getting warmer, then they call you, right? So first answer to that is it's going to be based on the natural buying journey for your industry. So that means, right, that's a flooring, it's 97 days. The minute they start clicking on your ad until they reach out to you might be 97 days, right? That's the reality. Um, but that doesn't mean you don't run ads, right? Because it's natural progression. Um, so that's the first thing. But out of that, some are hot, right? Some are warm, right? So you just don't know, right? So that's the first thing. Second, it's also going to be heavily weighted on two things. The results. First is how reputable you are. If they go on your website, they click on the ad, they go on your website, and you lack in online reputation, credibility, why would they be calling you, right? Again, I totally know it's a chicken and egg thing. If you are a startup, you just don't have much credibility. Then in the beginning, you're just gonna, unfortunately, the conversion rate might be much lower until you start to gain more credibility, right? More reviews, then more people trust you, they heard of you, then of course they're gonna call you. So that's where the cost per lead, right, will be much lower versus somebody who is a startup, right? And so, yeah, again, right, what you have to look at is in the beginning when not a whole lot of people know about you, the cost per lead will just be higher, right? Your reviews are not great or just don't have enough reviews. People don't know you. And also heavily weighted on your website content, right? Again, right? If people are looking for flooring near me, they go on your website. It doesn't talk about who you are, what you do, how are you different. What would they be calling you, right? And then lastly, is just for some industries, right? Um, it's just gonna be right. Again, I mentioned it's gonna be a longer buying journey. That's why it's very critical that you got to be nurturing the leads. And that's where remarketing, retargeting come into play, where you're just retargeting them, and that way they're seeing you all over the place. So I wish I can give you guys a better answer. Just reality answer here is it's what's the cost per lead? That's what, oh, even me as a business owner, right? If I spend X amount of money, I expect X amount of return, right? I do that as well. But unfortunately, even with Google Ads, right, you're hitting those who are mindful, they're Googling already. That might still vary quite a bit based on buying journey, based on how reputable you are, how many reviews you have, do you have great websites, things like that. So I wish I can give a concrete answer, um, but my suggestion is typically before you start running ads, I would definitely make sure that your website is a little bit more dialed in, right? You got a better website, who you are, what you do, how you're different, that's mobile friendly, right? Um, and so that should increase your conversion rate. And of course, you got to get more reviews. So those two things, I would really say, please dial it in before you start running Google Ads. You're going to get better ROI out of it. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.